So, today we're going to talk about a concept that feels like it's been pulled straight from a movie, but is getting closer to reality every single day. We're talking about artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And yeah, it's a technology that could literally change everything.
And look, that is not an exaggeration. AGI is about that moment when machines stop just, following our instructions, and they actually start to understand, to learn, and to reason on their own, kind of like we do. It's one of the biggest things we've ever tried to build. All right, so here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get a handle on what AGI actually is. Then we'll look at the totally new kind of progress it might unlock. After that, we'll get into the amazing opportunities, but also the huge responsibilities that come with it. And finally, we'll talk about why this is such a major turning point for all of us.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, right? What in the world is AGI? And how is it any different from the AI you're probably already using every day?
See, AGI isn't about being good at just one thing. It's about having the smarts to tackle any intellectual challenge a human can. The whole idea is for it to understand, learn, and then apply that intelligence to all sorts of things, not just stay stuck in one narrow little box.
The AI we have right now? It's amazing, for sure. But it's a total specialist. It's like a tool built for one very specific job. AGI, on the other hand, that's the generalist. Imagine a mind that can jump from doing complex scientific analysis to, say, creative brainstorming, with the same kind of fluid intelligence a person has. This is a huge leap past just simple automation. And AGI doesn't just recognize a pattern, it can come up with genuinely new ideas. It doesn't just check a task off a list, it can collaborate with you and adapt on the fly. We're talking about more than just a tool. We're talking about a creative and dynamic partner.
And this really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? The idea of AGI forces us to ask some really deep questions about ourselves and, our place in the world. It's a huge philosophical challenge, just as much as it is a technological one.
So, all that potential leads us right into our next topic, a completely new kind of progress. Because AGI isn't just about doing things a little bit better. It's about doing things at a speed and scale that is kind of hard to even wrap your head around. Think of it this way. A major scientific breakthrough that used to take decades of work could potentially be cracked in a matter of days. Problems that have stumped the smartest people for centuries could be solved not over a lifetime, but maybe in a couple of weeks. That's the insane level of acceleration we're talking about. Now, that incredible speed opens the door to some truly massive opportunities. I mean, we are talking about the potential to finally solve some of the biggest, most stubborn problems humanity has ever faced. Let's take healthcare. An AI could analyze these enormous global sets of medical data and spot patterns that no human ever could. It could potentially identify diseases at the earliest possible stage, long before a person even feels sick. That would completely flip medicine from being reactive to truly proactive. In science, it could become the ultimate research assistant. It could dream up new hypotheses to test and then run millions of simulations in an instant, just pushing the boundaries of everything we know about our universe. And the impact on the economy would just be staggering. We're not just talking about making existing industries more efficient, we're talking about reinventing them from the ground up. New markets that we can't even imagine yet could pop up, creating totally new ways to be productive. And on a global scale, think about those giant, messy logistical puzzles like managing global supply chains or coordinating disaster relief efforts. AGI could model these systems with such incredible accuracy that we could respond way more effectively and ultimately save more lives. But, and this is a huge but, all this incredible potential brings us to a really critical moment. If you have the power to solve almost anything, it forces you to ask, where do we even begin? Who gets to choose? And that single question, well, it leads us directly to our next section. Because with this much power comes an equally massive responsibility. It's not enough to just build something powerful, we have to make absolutely sure that power is aligned with a good purpose. So, building AGI the right way means we need a clear framework. It has to be aligned with shared human values. It has to be safe and predictable. We need to be able to understand how it makes decisions. And, this is a big one, its benefits have to be shared by everyone, not just concentrated in the hands of a few. And that means we have to tackle some very real worries head-on. We have to think seriously about the impact on jobs, the very real potential for this tech to be misused, and the risk of way too much power ending up in one place.
This is going to take a level of global cooperation and careful regulation that we've never really seen before.
And this might be the biggest challenge of them all. When you have a system that's smarter than any single person, how do you keep it accountable to everybody? How do you make sure it works for all of us? Honestly, there are no easy answers here.
So all of this brings us to one final really crucial point. AGI isn't just another gadget or another app. It really does represent a turning point for the human race.
Seriously, the development of AGI is right up there with game changers like the invention of farming or the printing press. It's a technology that has the power to completely reshape not just our societies and our economies, but our very idea of what it even means to be intelligent.
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. The future with AGI isn't something that's just going to happen to us. It's going to be built by the choices we make right now, about our values, our goals, and what kind of future we want to create. The real question isn't just about the AI. It's about us.